Your specific person isn't ignoring you, they're actually obsessed with you. And in this video, we're going to talk about a technique in order for you to see this in your reality and actually manifest it, because honestly, it is just waiting for you. Remember, manifestation is all about assuming as if we already have something, regardless of what we are seeing in our reality. And the technique that I want to tell you today, or I created for this video, is what I call the magic conch shell method. And no, I don't mean the magic conch shell in relation to SpongeBob, but that would absolutely help out as well. But I call it the magic conch shell method because in your reality, you actually create a cycle with your assumptions, and this either supports your original belief or supports a belief that you don't want. It kind of works in a circle, where at first you assume something, so whatever it is that you are assuming on your reality will reflect in your reality at this current moment, and whether or not you like or dislike that outcome, it will either improve the original belief in the negative or improve the original belief in the positive. And of course then, we're always looking to improve our belief in the positive, but don't worry, I made a little chart that can show you exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to this magic conch shell method. I'll put it up on the screen right now. So as you can see at the bottom, that's the beginning. Maybe right now in your reality, you are not receiving communication from your specific person, but that's okay. What would the law of assumption state to do? We would say that we need to assume as if we are already receiving a text message, and actually, and it's something I included in my previous video, we have to start reframing everything. We want to look at our reality and label it in a way that increases our assumption. And so you can see the conch shell, it's going around. If we're not receiving communication, but we make the phrase or assumption that it's because they're obsessed with you, it's actually because they're so desiring for you, they're so wanting to chase you, they're so in love with you, that they're actually worried about what to say, and they want to make sure whatever they're going to say is absolutely perfect for you. Now, of course, this idea changes our internal state. We don't want to continuously assume that this is going to happen, because you do want to manifest communication from your specific person. And so what we want to look at, because that's usually what people say in relation to reframing, they usually say, but if I assume that it's not receiving a text is positive, am I not going to just receive less or more of no communication? And the answer is no, because it has thus changed your assumption and thus has changed your reality. So the idea of not receiving a text does not match with your state of being obsessed over. And so, as you see, the next step in the magic conch shell method is thus by taking the assumption that they are obsessed, you have changed your state, and now you must receive a text because that is more in alignment with the outcome and assumption that you are currently having. But then you can see how then we increase or create a positive spiral going upward, because receiving that text then flips around to the other side, having your belief or current assumption that they're obsessed improved upon, which causes you to say, well, I knew it, I knew they were obsessed, which then goes around and spirals even higher up, creating more and more successes. This is what we mean, or what Neville Goddard would say, or Joseph Murphy would say, and that we need to assume as if we already have exactly what we desire, regardless of what we are seeing in our external reality. Because we can see that if we were to continuously not receive communication or not receive what we want, because communication is just an example in this metaphor, if we were to continuously not receive it and then make the statement of, yeah, because they don't like me, the upward spiral would not actually occur, and we would have the absolute opposite. We would have a downward spiral. So even though we feel like we're not receiving any communication, we would feel as if things were getting worse and worse, but that's because your assumptions always reflect in your reality. And so at the very beginning, we need to start reframing in the positive, which is not something new that I've discussed on this channel, but you can do it very simply by asking yourself a simple question whenever something negative happens. And you guys know I love the questions that start to induce a change in thought, a change in assumption, and a change in abundance. So what you're going to ask yourself is, what would this mean if they were obsessed with me? So let's say they're rescheduling a date, or they're not texting you back. What would this mean if they were obsessed with me? And that's going to begin to create the positive spiral. Because let's say they're rescheduling a date. What would this mean if they're obsessed with you? Could mean that they're trying to make the date perfect. Maybe they have this worry that it's going to rain, or maybe they're not feeling their greatest and they want to reschedule it in order to be the best for you. That's the assumption that creates the positive spiral, and thus we start on the magic conch shell method, creating more and more successes. Because we've always thought that we could spiral in the negative, but almost no one thinks about spiraling in the positive in that same way. But it's totally possible. It's the exact same thing. And if you want to amplify this method even further, I want you to create a little journal, and I'm going to give you a task in which you're going to do every single day. So let's start with the idea, very simply, that it's because we're obsessed over. So my specific person is obsessed with me. That's what we're going to use in this magic conch shell method to spiral upward in the quickest and easiest way possible. If that's the case, a task I pose for you is to find 3 times in which you are obsessed over, in which you are desired, or in which you are pursued in your reality. Your goal is to each and every day find 3 ways in which this is true for you. So it could be absolutely anything. It could be signs of people in your reality being obsessed over. It could be something that makes you feel desired. Maybe a friend texts you, or your family calls you, or someone on the street compliments you. Your goal is to find 3 reasons that support this. And they could be explanations as well of your reality. Meaning, if your specific person isn't immediately texting you, if your explanation is because they're obsessed because of A, B, C, D, that also will count as a success. I think you can use that too. But remember, and I just want to reiterate this, because the task and goal is not to be okay with not being texted. Of course, we want to change our state, but the goal is to not continue in a no text environment, right? Your end state includes your specific person texting you. And so, of course, that's going to be the goal. The idea is we're changing our feeling in relation to it to then change our assumptions, because our reality, if we are not getting texted in our reality, or anything for that matter that you want, you feel like as if you're not receiving it, it's because our current assumptions is assuming that upon us. But if we change that, we'll start this magic conch shell positive spiral, especially if you are searching for it. So your mind will always find everything that you are looking for. And when you are looking for these successes, it will change you in a way that is so dramatic and so quick. As well as this, anytime you begin to doubt, you begin to worry, you begin to fear anything, I know we're keeping the same thing of being obsessed over, but you can change this to anything which you want. If you ever feel triggered, I want you to use this affirmation in your reality. So you're going to say, that's exactly what someone obsessed with me would do. That's exactly what someone obsessed with me would do. Or that's exactly what someone who loves me would do. Or whatever feeling you are trying to sustain right here and right now, that's what you're going to act out. And that's it. Again, because your reality is just reflecting a previous belief, and we need to change the assumption first. Signs always follow, they never precede, meaning your reality won't change until we change. If you are not seeing what you want in your reality, you have to change your internal state before it reflects. In the same way, when you go and look into a mirror, it's only going to change once you change. If you're waiting on the mirror to change, or you're waiting for your specific person to text you in order to change, remember, they want to text you. They want to be dating you. They want to be talking to you every single moment of every single day, but they can only act in relation to our assumptions. Your reality is basically a dream. And if you are dreaming that you were stuck in a traffic jam and you were to look out the window and ask everyone, what are you guys doing here? Where are you going? Why are you stopping this traffic? Their response would be, well, we don't want to be here, but you're keeping us here. We're only here because you told us to be here. That's your reality. Your specific person is no different. They're making the statement, I am only here because you told me to be here. I have no desire to act in this way. I have no desire not to text you. but I'm only doing this because it matches your assumption. Your reality wants to give you exactly what you're assuming to be. And as well as this, someone did comment that they wanted dramatic success stories, or someone was asking, is there a success story of years of no contact? And yes, I do have a lot of stories with individuals who manifested from years of no contact, but really quickly, because I rummaged through, I have a little folder of success stories on my phone. And I just wanted to include this one because it's not as dramatic as we would like. It's only 3 weeks of no contact, but they only did something very minimal in order to get out of that no contact, and there is no limit to what this could actually be utilized for. So whether it's 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, or 3 decades, 3 centuries, right? There is no limit to what you can do. And just because it feels like it's a lot of time doesn't mean manifestation sees it as a lot of time. We feel more time makes it worse, but I would actually say more time can sometimes make it so much easier. Desire grows in separation. This is the assumption we want, right? Because whatever assumption we have is going to be our reality. So if we haven't gotten a text for years, take the assumption desire always grows in separation, because it absolutely do. Look at us, right? When we're thinking of our specific person, we're caring about them more the more time goes, right? It's because you're within your imagination. And if you take that assumption, it's going to spiral in the magic conch shell method upwards. And if your assumption is space creates desire, and you feel you've spent a lot of time away from your specific person, there is no distance between you and them. But if that's the case, you will flip and quantum leap into a reality in which they're obsessed based on time. Nothing actually matters and is only in relation to your assumption. And so I can, though, because I was making this video and I saw that comment, so at the last second I included this success story. But I can try to look for even more success stories that are longer, or because I do have a couple in my mind. I don't have screenshots of them because they happened in a coaching call, but those are stories that I could share on here as well. If you want to, just make sure to comment that down below. As well as this, to begin this obsession, I want you to comment why your specific person is obsessed with you. So my specific person is obsessed with me because blank. Whatever it is, because they're always nervous to text me, or they always try to make our dates the best, or they're always thinking about me. Whatever it is, comment that down below, and we need to get this obsession ball rolling. As well as this, if you did have any questions at all, make sure to comment them down below. And if you did want to reach me for a personal question or a personal email or whatever, make sure to head over to kyleaugustcoaching.com. And just to confirm that you know your specific person is obsessed with you, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video. As always, thank you so much to all my subscribers. Thank you so much to all my members, and I can't wait to see you in my next video tomorrow.